Ethan Keller had always been drawn to abandoned places. Their peeling wallpaper, their silence that felt heavier than noise, their smell of damp wood and mildew. When he stumbled across the old film camera at a dusty thrift store, something about it called to him. Its leather casing was cracked, and the brass lens ring bore faint fingerprints that no amount of polishing could erase. The first night he used it, he stood in the ruins of a burned-down diner on the edge of town. He framed the shot. Empty booths, broken glass glittering on the floor, the moonlight pooling through shattered windows. When he developed the roll later, his breath hitched. The photo didn't show the diner as it was now. Instead, the picture was alive with fire, flames climbing the curtains, people screaming, a waitress clawing at the locked door. The image was sharp, as though captured from the eyes of someone standing right in the chaos. Ethan shook it off, telling himself it was a trick of chemical exposure, a printing error. But when he laid the photos side by side, he noticed something stranger. In each shot, though the angle shifted, the perspective never belonged to him. It was as if he was seeing through someone else's eyes. That night, he dreamed of smoke filling his lungs. And when he woke, his bedsheets reeked faintly of ash. Ethan tried again, this time inside an abandoned farmhouse on Miller Road. The floorboards groaned under his weight, and the air smelled faintly of mold and something sweeter, like spoiled fruit. He snapped 3 photos: the staircase, the dusty kitchen, a cracked mirror leaning against the wall. When he developed the film, his stomach dropped. The staircase photo showed a woman tumbling down, her skull cracking against the wooden steps, blood splattering across wallpaper that no longer existed. The kitchen photo revealed a man slumped forward at the table, his throat slashed wide open, flies swarming his untouched meal. And in the mirror shot, though Ethan had stood alone, there were children. 3 of them, pale and bruised, huddled in the corner, their wide eyes fixed directly on the lens. He spread the prints across his desk. Together, they told fragments of a larger story, like puzzle pieces from different tragedies. And there was a consistency, always the same perspective, the same invisible witness, lingering close to death. As he stared at the photos, the mirror from the farmhouse flashed in his mind. He swore he heard a faint scratching behind his apartment wall, like fingernails dragging across plaster. And then a whisper, so soft he thought it was just his imagination. "You see us now." His reflection in the window blinked a moment too late. Sleep abandoned Ethan. Each night, the photos multiplied, every abandoned site he visited bleeding into another grotesque chapter. He pinned them to his wall, a growing map of horror. Faces of victims stared back at him, their expressions frozen in terror, but their eyes seemed to shift, following him across the room. The whispers grew bolder, sometimes laughing, sometimes weeping. His apartment smelled of old smoke, iron, and perfume that didn't belong to him. One night, as he arranged the last set of prints, the pattern revealed itself. All the murders were linked, spanning decades, committed by the same unseen hand. In every photo, reflected faintly in glass or metal, was a silhouette, a tall figure with no face. Ethan's pulse hammered. He grabbed his camera, turned it on himself in the mirror, and clicked. The photo developed quicker than any before. He stared at it, his throat tightening. There he was, framed in the mirror, but behind him stood the faceless figure, its hands resting on his shoulders. And worse, the faces of the victims filled the room around him, staring, closing in. The whispers merged into one guttural voice. "Now you are the witness." The next morning, Ethan's apartment was empty. Only the camera remained on the desk, a fresh roll of film inside, waiting.